What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Rise and shine. There is a fire out in Pittsburgh. Big fire. Huge apartment fire. I just saw this right now popping off. Let me see what information this. I think they said it was a 4-alarm fire. Let's see. No audio. Still going too. Pittsburgh. Massive fire breaks out. Squirrel Hill apartment. Let me check this out. Oh, this is crazy. This is better quality.
Folks, a lot of folks are still trying to figure out their next steps. And a portion of this building did seem to collapse into the next level below it, and it immediately triggered an alarm shortly after to evacuate whoever was left in the building, whether it be first responders or otherwise. Again, plenty of questions that we're still waiting to get answered, but of course this is definitely leaving folks to stop in their tracks and just kind of watch this all unfold. Again, this is only on Pecussit Street. We have dozens of people here just kind of watching and seeing first responders trying to get this fire under control, but there are at least 2 dozen or so folks, some folks who are probably living in the complex below us, that is watching this really unfold as we're waiting to get a lot
this big screen.
A lot of questions answered as they're trying to get this under control. Again, for folks who are unaware exactly where we are, we're still in Squirrel Hill. This fire is happening on Forward Avenue. We're currently where our view is above the hill on Pecussit Street. As crews are still trying to get this under control. You can see several water cannons working on both sides of that roof portion, and I think there's even a water cannon on the lower half trying to gets on the right side of the building under control. But of course, this is all still developing as we are on scene, and as people are just trying to grasp exactly what happened here. Again, we spoke with a woman earlier who said they saw folks in their pajamas trying to get an understanding of what's going on, speaking with first responders on scene. Other folks were saying they were on their morning runs or on their walks with their pets, noticing the fire that is happening. They saw the smoke immediately. I spoke with a person who said he had a friend who lived in that building. He told me that his friend is okay, thankfully. It looks like, I don't know if our photojournalist Dave can kind of zoom in on that. On the lower level, it looks like they were trying to at least ventilate the bottom half of the building and kind of breaking in through whatever leftover windows or doors, trying to get all this to kind of move its way off the building and get this under control. But of course, there are dozens of people just watching and waiting, shooting their own videos on their phones, just in awe of what exactly is happening right here. Of course, this is something we're continuing to follow. We're continuing to develop. We're going to try and speak with more people and get you all some more answers, some more perspectives in a little bit. But right now, we're going to send it back to the studio. Ryan.
All right, our Carlos Flores there at the scene from ground level. And if you're just joining us, as here we are just beyond the top of the hour here, 10:04 on this Tuesday morning. Let's reset what has taken place so far this morning. We are providing continuing coverage of a massive apartment fire on Forward Avenue near Murray Avenue in the Squirrel Hill South section of Pittsburgh, as we take another live look from our vantage point there at Sky 4. Our first report of this fire came in just after 8:30, not long after we learned of the intensity of it by seeing numerous images from the Parkway East and from our action cams of smoke. And for more on that perspective now, let's bring in meteorologist Jill Swed, who's going to show us our action cam right now and what she's seeing there. Jill?
Yeah, Ryan, Carlos Flores and also photojournalist Dave O'Neill, Sky 4 and Sam Hall showing those great close-up perspectives. But I just wanted to show you with Action Cam how you can see this for miles now. This is our Action Cam situated on Mount Washington. The far right-hand side of your screen, you can see that.
Oh, you can see the fire all the way out there. Wow. Check that out.
Neighborhood. Occasionally, as I've been monitoring this view, you've seen actually that trail of smoke blow across many of the eastern neighborhoods of the city of Pittsburgh, crossing the Allegheny River. It looks a little bit thinner right now, but you can certainly follow that trail of smoke coming off of that apartment building fire that continues to burn that we've been showing you those images of. So that's one view from Mount Washington looking back towards the city of Pittsburgh, and obviously the Squirrel Hill neighborhood is deeper into the background of that shot. Let's flip you around. This is the view from our tower cam right on the roof here at WTAE Channel 4, and what you're going to notice, we'll go back one more. What you're going to notice, you can still see some of that smoke as well. This is the other view. So this again looking now back towards the west, overlooking the Parkway East, the Squirrel Hill neighborhood. Still on the right-hand side of your screen, you can see that trail of smoke that continues to blow coming off of course, that big firefight, that apartment building fire that is going on in the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood of the city of Pittsburgh. Another interesting viewpoint. So again, this is kind of just showing you the scale of how large this plume of smoke is, how far you can see it. This is the radar. Obviously, we typically use this to track rain, snow, active weather across the region, but it also picks up anything that is going on in the sky. So this is about 9:45. You can see a little blip there over the Squirrel Hill neighborhood. Hard to say for sure, but this could be the radar actually detecting some of that smoke in the lower levels of the atmosphere, something that happens a lot of times with big fires. You can pick up that trail of smoke as it continues to move from its site of origin. So again, something that we'll also be monitoring. Have not seen any big impacts on air quality or visibility, obviously a very small scale. Another issue with any firefight is honestly they are relatively calm, light. Right now coming in about 3 miles out of Pittsburgh International, calm near the county airport site as well. That's coming in out of West Mifflin, so a little bit closer to the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood. But still, overall, conditions are not too bad, but it does go to show you just the extent of the smoke. Oh, here's a closer in view now with our Mount Washington action cam. So you can see it's tucked just behind some of the taller buildings there, but you can certainly see in great detail that billowing plume of smoke that continues to lift up in the atmosphere and then be blown up towards the north, so cutting across some of those eastern neighborhoods of the city of Pittsburgh. So that will be impacting spots like Homewood, eventually Point Breeze, interacting too with those communities along the Allegheny River as well. So again, just a great shot there to again show you the wide scale view, and of course our crews on the ground and in the sky with Sky 4 showing you the up close view as well, Ryan.
So they were saying that, hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning, by the way. Thank you for stopping by. I just saw this right now. If you could hit the like button, please, get me out there in the algorithm. I'd appreciate that. I just saw this morning. I was outside doing some work, and I decided to come check the computer, and I saw this live feed was happening with this massive fire out in Pittsburgh, and the Squirrel Hill neighborhood, smoke billowing. They're saying that part of the roof could be seen collapsed. Part of a roof collapsed. Hopefully everybody got out. It's unclear when the fire broke out. Wow. And the fire last night, no deaths. I just heard there were some injuries and some structures burned. The fire is completely contained. The California fire, that one's contained. If anybody was wondering for an update, I posted a comment. I pinned it on yesterday's live. So, but yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. Just thought we'd just pop in for a little bit, hang out, check out what's going on. Huge fire, man. That's the scary thing, too, with these apartments, I guess, right? If something happens, the whole place, the whole building could come down.
Water from your water cannon or your fire hose if you're on the ground. Being able to make sure that it's going where it needs to be going is made super difficult by the incredible amount of smoke. There's still a tremendous amount of flames. And I'm going to zoom in here and show you. You'll see the flames if you look kind of deep into the picture in the dark black.
Okay, we just lost connection there with Sam Hall as he was zooming in to, again, show the intensity there of those the smoke and flames there. Once again, if you are just joining us, and just to reset one more time here, this is an apartment building fire, obviously a massive fire in the Squirrel Hill South section of Pittsburgh. Forward Avenue and Murray Avenue, the concentrated areas there. those roads, that area, closed off now as crews continue to respond as we now take a live look from ground level. And a short time ago, our Carlos Flores, who was there on ground level at the scene, caught up with an eyewitness who provided this account. I think we can roll that interview now.
How did you notice this? Where were you when this kind of started?
I was driving by to get through. I'm on my way to work, and I looked over and I seen that, and my husband's a firefighter, so I hurried up and pulled over and looked and seen all the flames, and it's been bad since I've been here.
And I guess when just seeing this in front of you, what has been your initial reaction, just seeing the level of response and just the fire just shooting out of the top of the building?
Hoping everybody got out safe because it is a bad fire, and hoping all the firemen were out, and I just seen them all go in now, so.
Did you happen to know anyone who lived in the building or knew anyone who lived in that building?
No, I hadn't.
And I guess just to know just the level of response that's happening, just to know that there's smoke just bellowing out of this building, what compelled you to stop?
The flames and all the smoke, and I seen people standing here, and I just wanted to see if there's anything I could do, or if there was anyone that needed anything.
And I guess for what is your message to those who are maybe impacted by something like this right now?
To just, I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know where they're going to live. Obviously, the building is, they don't have any place to stay, and it looks like a big apartment building, so I'm sure a lot of people will be out of homes.
And is there anything else you would like to add just about what you're seeing here at this very moment, early this morning, as folks are being impacted right before your eyes?
No, my thoughts and prayers are with everybody. Hope everybody's safe and has family members to go to other places to go and stay.
Oh, Sugar, thank you for the membership.
Okay,
no, I didn't see that, Rose.
Interview recorded from.
Rose said, "Did you see?" Well, first of all, let me put this on the big screen. Hold on. Well, the chopper's kind of coming in and out. I guess they have bad signal or something. So we'll wait and see if they get the connection back going. Did you see the Mexican train hit the bus? I haven't seen that. No. I'm doing good, thanks. Good morning. Hey, Lise. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Oh, show me your knickers. Wow. What a name. iCkEdMeL, anyone watching the videos about the Greta chick? Yeah. I saw the first video last night. I was actually thinking of doing it for the Clips channel. I don't know if you saw, they're saying that it was BS and that it was a flare gun that somebody shot and was misfired on the boat. It wasn't like a drone. It wasn't like an attack or anything like they're making it seem to be. They're saying it's BS. I might do a video. Let me see. I don't know. Is there a better feed for this? Okay, maybe this one's better for now. Is it the same one? Looks the same, but it's not cutting in and out. Watch this one. Yeah, I heard about the Greta stuff. Oh, it is cutting out. Oh, they got scanner channel. Let me check it out. Okay, scanner. Let's see, top feeds. Pittsburgh Fire. Okay, let's check it out. See what they're saying on there. Pretty much. Yeah, I have the scanner on. They're not saying anything right now.
In operation. Where did you go? Where you wanted me to put the deck on. It's going to take us too low on water, so we're holding off right now. Hurry, please. Deputy to operation. Operations go. Chief, you've got a pumper on that hydrant available to make the switch just to feed 10 engine and 13 trucks. Operations, I'll look into it.
Mini Duck, I plan on covering that story later. Liam King. Yeah, a couple of people were mentioning it to me yesterday. I already started this morning pulling up some clips and stuff, some articles. So I'm thinking this afternoon, early afternoon, I think we'll cover that story. I was trying to see what else I could find. Yeah, these guys are in a massive, massive fire battle here. The fire's still going. Supposedly one of the roofs half collapsed somewhere. Pittsburgh. It's in the Squirrel Hill. Squirrel Hill. Let's see what they got over here. So they're saying all people inside have been accounted for. Pittsburgh Public Safety confirms that all people inside of the apartment have been accounted for and there are no reported injuries. Okay, that's good. Multiple crews are battling a 4-alarm apartment fire right near the Squirrel Hill. The fire is believed to be at 5660 and 5680 Forward Avenue, the Jefferson Apartments.
So, NASCO Roofing. Here's what
10 engine to BC5. Go ahead, 10. Chief, could you take a break for a minute? This front corner apartment, the AD corner apartment starting to light off. Okay, Dan, give me about 45 seconds to shut that down. Copy that, sir. Thank you.
Big Jewish community.
10 engine BC5. We're all shut down. Go ahead. Copy that, Chief. We're open. Thank you.
Connection's holding up. Unfortunately,
Operations, speak time.
the chopper's cutting in and out, but I guess we'll take what we can get. Pittsburgh fire.
Operations, seat side. Charlie side, operations go. Hey, Ron, I cleared the cruiser back here. We have no water flown. The 10 needs it up front. They are all located on the B side.
This is a video of the collapse.
What appears to be an apartment complex. We know several people are currently waiting on that lower level, watching this really unfold. Some folks are talking to first responders, trying to kind of say where they were around this time, if they were living in the building. Oh, you just saw that top part of the roof just collapsed. As we're speaking right now, that top part of the roof just collapsed as flames are moving their way to the building. Oh, you just saw that top where they were around this time, if they were living in the building. Oh, you just saw that top part of the roof just collapsed. As we're speaking right now, that top part of the roof just collapsed as flames are moving their way down to the lower levels, and crews are working their hardest to try and battle these flames as much as possible. You can just see, again, there's flames in different pockets of fire just shooting out on either sides of the building. And now it seems like instead of two hoses from the top from earlier that you just saw us, and now a third hose is shooting from underneath, trying to get this under control. Again, this is all happening on Forward Avenue in Squirrel Hill. Folks who are on this, passing in and around the Squirrel Hill tunnel, are probably seeing this smoke continuing to shoot out of this building.
Wow. So that was the collapsed roof.
Use caution, zone 221 crews, side Charlie collapse zone at 1019.
Collapse. Shipped. Ooh. Wow. Let's see if we got this news station here. Here we go. They're back.
Shared that sentiment. And also, Sam, you bring up a great point there of the admiration that we have for these folks that continue to try to bring this fire under control and the work that they've been doing for just about a couple of hours now there at that scene on Forward Avenue. We heard from a couple witnesses here earlier. Let's go back now to another one of those interviews of an eyewitness with our Carlos Flores from a few moments ago.
Eyewitness. Hey, Julie.
When did you notice all this?
We were out walking the dog and we saw a big plume of smoke and smelled it a little bit. And this is our usual route, so we just walked by and saw it.
And I guess from what you're seeing, or you've been here for as long as I.
8 engines. 8 pumping from operation. I can relay that message, Chief.
I think it's going to be a total loss too, Louise. Yeah.
Yes, operations, I want to know if you can take another line off. Yes, I
Pittsburgh.
can. See if you can get another ground monitor and work with 17 truck captains to position it. Chief, this hydrant's good enough to support another line. Do you want us to move our position? I want you to get another master stream going on that 3rd floor. Read, Steve. I'll make it happen. Truck 17. Truck 17 operator, truck 14.
Okay. So what she said.
Interview from a few moments ago with an eyewitness there speaking with our Carlos Flores at ground level as we continue our coverage of this massive apartment building fire in the Squirrel Hill South section of Pittsburgh. Forward Avenue is the location here in the area of Murray Avenue. And once again, folks are urged to avoid that area. I'm joined now by anchor Elena LaQuatra, who a few moments ago was giving us the traffic perspective. That interview there, what was noteworthy is in what we do, we cover fires.
No, you have an accurate view. We'll do that. We're doing that now. We're trying to get another line on it also. Yeah, copy that. There's fire coming across the eaves, the whole backside. BC4 from operation. BC4. Ken, I want you in charge of this collapse on side A. Make sure nobody's there.
You're about 15 minutes from there.
County 4 copy.
You could probably step outside and see the smoke.
Showing you. So for those of you who are in the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood or planned on passing through, just a heads up about the traffic impact here. So this is on Murray and Forward. If you are trying to reach the Squirrel Hill exit heading outbound on the Parkway West, that's going to be problematic. You're not going to be able to make that left onto Forward Avenue to continue into the Squirrel Hill neighborhood. Traffic is backing up considerably. Brian Hutton Jr. actually just came in for his shift and said he was sitting in those backups, decided to detour off of the Parkway East at Bates Street, make his way through Oakland in order to get around these backups. Of course, our stations here in Wilkinsburg, so on the other side of the Squirrel Hill Tunnel.
Side C, this is Operation Go. Yeah, I have 18 truck back there with a 2.5. Side C, hitting the E's of Side C. We are clear of Side C. Receive, I just want them out of the collapse zone.
Damn, yo. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yeah, operations, we're working from Side B.
That whole building might be gone. I think it's going to be gone, man. I don't know if it's like a couple of buildings connected.
Fire dispatch to Forward Avenue, command. Go ahead, dispatch. This is command. You were at the 2-hour mark. Copy the 2-hour mark. We still are in defensive operations. We have heavy fire activity. We are using master stream devices at this time. We have no unmet needs. Receive. Defense operations, master streams in use. No unmet needs at this time, 1026. Dispatch from operations. This time also, we have collapse zones set up all 4 sides. Received. Collapse zone set up all 4 sides, 1026.
Minutes or so. You can see closer to the surface, looks to be very dark and gray. Sam Hall was commenting just a little bit ago about how the changes in that smoke happens as the firefighters then start to put water on those flames. And of course, the smoke then starts to shoot up higher into the sky. So again, you can see that column of smoke lifting up into the atmosphere. It's actually then blowing off into some of the eastern neighborhoods. Here's a different perspective. This is from right here at WTAE Channel 4. Our station is in Wilkinsburg. On the left-hand side of your screen, you can see the inbound and outbound Parkway East traffic. That is before you would get to the Squirrel Hill Tunnel coming from the Monroeville side of the tunnel. Then on the right-hand side, there's that plume of smoke. You can see that thick cloud almost looking of some gray skies. Of course, it is a crystal clear blue day for us here across western Pennsylvania, and that plume of smoke continuing to blow into some of the eastern neighborhoods of the city of Pittsburgh. So not just impacting Squirrel Hill, potentially Shady Side, Homewood, that is probably sitting over top of you, blowing towards Point Breeze, and eventually trying to work its way towards the Allegheny River. So those are some live views there, just to show you the extent of it, kind of a wide view from our action cams. Another interesting view. This is the radar, which of course we typically use to track rain, snow, whatever type of precipitation there is. You can see Pecusset Street. That's where Carlos Flores and also photojournalist Dave O'Neill have been situated, monitoring the situation. I've also circled where that apartment building is, again, along Murray and Forward Avenues. A couple little blips of green there. Not necessarily that we're seeing rain falling, because of course it is a sunny day, but potentially the radar picking up on some of that smoke that is continuing to billow through and coming out of the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood towards Squirrel Hill, and again, of course, eventually Shady Side, Homewood, and even Point Breeze, as we are getting working through this morning as that firefight does continue.
Oh, okay.
Wind not overly strong. Of course, that could become problematic for some of the firefighters out there. The wind is generally light across Allegheny County. Of course, out at the airport, that's western Allegheny County, about a 3-mile-per-hour wind coming in. The county airport reporting a 6-mile-per-hour wind coming in out of the south and east. So that's going to be moving a lot of that smoke coming towards the north and northwest. So again, blowing towards Shady Side, Homewood, eventually Point Breeze as well. But again, the images have just been startling and dramatic, the up-close view, but then also just to see how far across the city of Pittsburgh and many of those other neighborhoods you can actually see this smoke as that firefight does continue. We'll send it back to you, Ryan and Elena.
And coming up on 10:30 here on this Tuesday morning, want to quickly reset our coverage here, as for the past hour we've been providing live coverage of this massive apartment fire in the Squirrel Hill South section of Pittsburgh. We have multiple reporters on this story, including our Carlos Flores, who I believe right now is in the midst of another live interview. Let's join that now.
Actually, we're going to probably redo this interview. All right, kind of talk to me here. Where were you when this all kind of unfolded, and what were you doing at the time when you noticed there was a fire happening?
Elaine, thank you.
So I was in an online meeting in my house. I work from home today. So, yeah, things are happening, huh?
And I guess to know that, just to see what's happening, unfolding, of course, crews are actively fighting this fire behind you. Of course, luckily, everyone is okay, but to know this is all kind of unfolding behind you, how are you feeling? What is your reaction to all this?
Huge shout out to Pittsburgh EMS and Pittsburgh Fire. I mean, you look down there, those are the men and women who are putting themselves in harm's way to save the rest of us. So huge shout out to them.
And we did receive word that everyone is okay and is accounted for, and there's no reported injuries at this time. What's your thoughts on that, to know that it looks like everyone's okay?
So grateful to hear that there's no loss of life. Hopefully no major injuries, right? This is a really scary situation.
And yeah, you mentioned it's a scary situation. You noticed it while you were working. Just to see that it's still happening hours after, an hour or so after, just to know that they're still fighting this fire and the smoke is still covering most of where we're standing right now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, right. I mean, the entire neighborhood is really engulfed in smoke right now. It's a huge fire. I have not seen anything of this scale ever before.
And you're not the only one who decided to walk out and kind of just see how this is all kind of happening. What are your thoughts on just the attention this is kind of drawn to folks, even just kind of walking on their early morning walks?
There's like 100 people here, right? This is the 5-way intersection at Pecusset and Murray. Everybody knows it in the city, and it's covered with people. So everybody's concerned. I think we're here for concern for the safety of the people who are involved.
And just to mention those people involved, I guess, what are you going to be thinking about moving forward? What are your thoughts, and to know that these folks' lives are currently changed at the moment?
Absolutely, and it's up to the people of Squirrel Hill and the people of the city of Pittsburgh to rise up and help these folks, right? They've lost everything today, so let's rise up and help them.
Now, is there anything else you would like to add just about what you have noticed and seen and just experienced over the last hour or so here on scene of an unfortunate apartment complex fire?
Yeah, this is a big apartment complex. This isn't like one of our typical 2 or 3 unit. I don't know how many units are in the building. This is a large building. This involves a lot of people. So it's not only a large fire with a lot of smoke, it's a lot of people who are impacted.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Please have a great rest of your day.
Get the word out there. Let's get these people some help.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And you just, again, heard from another person who is watched and stopped, who lives nearby, actively watching this fire as crews are still trying to get this under control. Again, I know Ryan has been reiterating this throughout the morning since we've gotten the news that all occupants are accounted for and there's no major injuries reported. I have told that to several people here who have been wondering, trying to figure out if that is the case, and they are extremely ecstatic to know that news, which is great to hear. I know, but of course, crews are so actively fighting this fire behind us. They're tackling this at all fronts, several water cannons across the building from the bottom all the way to the top, working it floor by floor, trying to get this under control. But you can just see the smoke covering the neighborhood. You heard from that one woman from earlier just saying how much it has covered this neighborhood. Everyone who lives within a couple of streets is probably smelling the remnants of this smoke, as dozens upon dozens of people are watching crews trying to get this under control. Again, for those who are just joining us, we are currently on Pecusset Street, which is in Squirrel Hill, which is about a street over from Forward Avenue where this fire is happening. Again, for folks who are unaware, this is right near the get-go on Murray Avenue and Forward Avenue, which is currently blocked off when you try to enter into Forward Avenue, where that intersection is, as crews are trying to get this under control. Again, this is something that's been going on for at least more than an hour now at this point, as crews are working to get this under control, and it has drawn a ton of attention. Folks stopping by, wondering to see what is going on. I spoke to a woman earlier who didn't know anyone who lives in this building, but was so emotional and drawn to tears because of a fire that she experienced herself. So she says she understands how people who lived in this building are feeling at this very moment as they're working to try and get this under control. Again, folks are just in awe, stopping in their tracks, trying to see what's going on. But again, this is extremely active. Firefighters have not slowed down from the moment we arrived, if not earlier. They have been trying to get this under control. Of course, they have evacuated the building at this point. From what we've been told, folks are all accounted for who lived in this building. And of course, the Red Cross is assisting anyone who is currently impacted. But again, you can really just see that smoke just make its way to the top. Crews are battling this at all angles. Several portions of the building front, back, side to side. It's all over, trying to get a handle.
What a mess.
What's here. But of course, officials are asking folks to avoid the area as much as possible.
The whole thing's going to collapse.
And to keep roads clear, of course, for any further first responders who are trying to respond to the scene. But again, this is a very, very active scene happening and unfolding in front of us as folks are still working to try and get this under control. Of course, we spoke to several folks over the last hour or so. Folks, again, mainly folks who are just stopping by on their morning walks and runs, who live a couple houses up, trying to express how they're feeling in this very moment. A lot of folks are shocked and concerned. Of course, a lot of folks were relieved to know that there are no, everyone is accounted for and there's no reported injuries at this time, but still, they're still waiting. They're still watching this because they're curious to see how soon, how quickly can crews get this under control. It has captured a lot of the attention of folks living in and around this area, folks who are on their way to work, trying to go to the gym, trying to go on their morning walks, all have stopped and they're watching. They're taking videos. They're just in awe, trying to figure out exactly what's happening. Of course, we are still working on figuring out if there's any preliminary information on a cause. That is something that, of course, we will ask those questions. But of course, this is something that will probably be investigated by the fire marshal for further investigation. But of course, for folks who are joining us again, I like to keep people up to date on exactly where we are. We are on Pecusset Street. This is a street above Forward Avenue. For folks who are unfamiliar with the Squirrel Hill area, this is right where the get-go is, near the get-go, where Murray Avenue and Forward Avenue meet. This is on the Forward Avenue side as crews are actively battling this fire. It has been going on for more than an hour now at this point, as this has been a very active scene. There we have seen several points where flames have shot out at several portions of the window, portions of the roof have even dropped down, trying to get this under control. You can just see, again, the smoke is really getting thick and heavy and is making its way towards us where we are on Pecusset Street as crews are battling at all angles, shooting several water cannons from the floor, from up above, trying to get this under control. Several folks have stopped wondering exactly how this is happening. Again, we have been told that everyone has been accounted for. There have been no reported injuries. The section of Forward Avenue is currently closed. I know Sam has been giving a wonderful picture of what it looks like up above and how folks even you can see this level of smoke from the Squirrel Hill tunnel, people who are going in and out of the Squirrel Hill tunnel. Now officials and first responders have asked folks to kind of stay out of this area as crews are working to get this under control. This is an extremely active scene, but of course a lot of folks are just praying for those who have been impacted, praying for their families, hoping things will turn out for the better following this really devastating situation. Folks are really just kind of watching, one woman described it, their lives go up in smoke. It's an unfortunate situation, but of course I know another woman who came and walked down, who spoke to us earlier, you heard from her earlier, saying hopefully the community will step in and help those who are impacted. Again, this is something we're going to continue to follow. We're going to continue to give you as much information as we can as crews are still battling this fire on all fronts, trying to get this under control as much as possible. We're continuing to give you all as much information as we can right here and online, of course, on WTAE.com. But I'm going to try and give you some more information. I'm trying to give you some more perspectives coming up in a little, but for right now I'm going to send it back to the studio. Right now, covering Allegheny County in Squirrel Hill, Carlos Flores, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Carlos making the point there of the several steps that are going to be associated with this story. You have the immediacy right now and the ongoing fight here. As we talked about, all occupants are accounted for and there are no injuries. So immediately here, the focus becomes the structure there, getting this fire under control, and of course the safety for everybody involved. And then the long term, of course, then comes the effects of these folks who are now without a home.
Absolutely. And just looking at the smoke in all of these shots, even Carlos' shot, when we had the camera on him, you couldn't even really see the background. It was just filled with this heavy, thick smoke. If you live in that area, it might not be a good idea to walk around right now. Just be cautious out there. This heavy smoke can be quite dangerous to inhale, and it's been smoking like this for almost 3 hours now. Right now, you're looking at a
Manuel
live
Harrow,
shot
no,
from
nothing.
Sky 4, Pittsburgh's only news chopper. Over that scene, we have Sam Hall. He's giving us fantastic perspective, not just of what we're seeing on that scene, but also the traffic impacts in what is already a very congested area during morning rush hour. Sam, what can you share with us?
I can tell you this, dramatic slowdowns indeed on the Parkway East. And again, a full closure of Forward Avenue between Murray and Beechwood Boulevard. You can't get over to Homestead from Squirrel Hill right now. You cannot access the Parkway East from Squirrel Hill right now, and you don't want to. Try to avoid this area and give these folks room to do the job that they have been tasked with. I'm going to tell you this, Elena and Ryan, as well. We first arrived on this scene at Sky 4. There was more than 60, maybe even 70% of this roof that was completely intact, including the northwest portion of the building. It was unaffected by the fire, but as we have stayed here, more and more of that roof has collapsed. It's now about just 10% of the entire roof still remaining, and the smoke and flames continue to creep over to the north side. It's gotten so dramatic here, and Carlos made a great point about how they're attacking this fire from all sides, from above and below and on the ground. I'll tell you this, and we can see if we get Captain Greg to slide the Sky 4 back around a little bit to his left here. Firefighters have taken to the roof of a neighboring building to continue to fight this fire. This is a building that is nearby, right behind the building where the fire is. But you can see firefighters on the roof of that other building shooting their water, their hose down into the flames of that's part where the roof has already collapsed. But again, avoid this area. And again, let's echo, I'll continue to say it, I don't have any problem saying it for the 10th time. No one has been injured so far. That is miraculous and very, very good news. That's hopefully the case for firefighters as well. But the fact that all people in that apartment building have been accounted for and are injury-free, it's making it a great day in Sky 4. Ellen and Ryan.
All right, so Sam Hall continuing to give us his look from Sky 4 there above as that smoke just continues to swallow up that entire apartment building, which has now, good portions of it have now collapsed. We are now taking a live look at some evacuees here from
there's people outside?
Apartment building, and you're just seeing these pictures just say it all. The heartbreak, the despair you see as they look on and watch their home there continue to burn. Red Cross Salvation Army there to offer assistance, as well as these sad images, live pictures here come into us. New perspective.
These are all the people outside.
You're seeing right now.
I guess all the people displaced.
From that building, all occupants once again are accounted for.
All occupants accounted for.
Out to these folks who are seeing all this unfold.
And a lot of those people, Ryan, as you mentioned, likely lived in that building, all accounted for, all safe, no injuries reported, according to Pittsburgh Public Safety. But again, just astonishing what they're watching from across the street. Their building burning to the ground. Huge response at that scene right here. Many fire trucks blocking the roadway on Forward and Murray.
Now, who caused the fire? That's the question. How did the fire start? Was it just electrical? Somebody have a cigarette? Somebody smoking weed? Just fell asleep, passed out, candle. What happened? So there's a whole lot of people displaced. And yeah, those buildings do look old. They do look old. I mean, the fire is still going. And I guess they've been going at this for hours. It's Pittsburgh Squirrel Hill neighborhood. Ooh. That's true, Samuel. Probably not a lot. How many do you think have renter's insurance?
Traffic mainly on the Parkway East as you try to travel in the outbound direction. Your best bet if you're traveling Parkway East outbound is to detour off in Oakland and make your way around the Squirrel Hill Tunnel through Oakland. A huge response at that scene, though, and as I mentioned, could be several hours before that gets cleared out.
Sure, and just to give you a bit of a timeline here, we first sent a crew to that scene just before 8:40 this morning, so a little more than 2 hours ago. And we quickly learned through still images that we were gathering from our action cams and so forth, the intensity of this fire. As we go now to an interview with Kara Cruz of Pittsburgh Public Safety. Let's listen in.
Sure. At about 8:25 this morning, a Pittsburgh fire was called to this block of Forward Avenue for what started as a second alarm fire in an apartment complex. That fire quickly grew to 3 and then 4 alarms. Thankfully, everyone has been safely evacuated from the building, approximately 30 people. There are no reported injuries at this time, and no injuries to firefighters or to any of the occupants of the building. At this time, they are really still fighting this fire. It is obviously not under control. As I said, it started on the 3rd floor, but there is also an electrical fire in the basement area. You can see that the firefighters are fighting it from the side of the building and the front as well, so top and bottom. So really all companies on deck here at the moment to get this under control.
The area is blocked off as well. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, the area is definitely blocked up. As you can see behind me, all the different apparatus. So we would just really encourage people to stay out of the area. So there's a lot of volume of traffic in the area. But most importantly, we got to get a lot of the occupants are still on scene here. We have our Office of Emergency Management and also the Red Cross from Pennsylvania and Salvation Army, all 3 groups working together to get them some immediate necessities and get them to the Jewish Community Center, and then also work from there on getting them some temporary accommodations, because quite clearly you can see behind me, this building is not going to be habitable.
We've seen a couple collapses. What is the danger to the area, and should people?
It's certainly not an area to be walking around in at the moment. It's it's definitely even hazardous for firefighters at this time. And there've been a few sort of tense moments on the radio where they're asking them to get out of the building. So they have not been in the building for quite some time. This is very much a defensive fire at the moment. They're just attacking it defensively.
I was told by previous clear this up. There were several rescues affected by firefighters for people in waiting there. Quite a few people have some issues.
I don't have any information about that at this time, but that does not surprise me. It's a part of their training and part of what they do, and I'm glad they were here and able to help. Yeah.
Did we ask how many people lived in this building already?
Approximately 30 people, I'm told. There were some, some suites that were not occupied, thank goodness. So really, honestly, at the end of the day, all the people sitting behind the cameras right now, we're just happy to see them alive and safe and well. And then the rest, they'll have to sort out after, which is devastating in itself. But this is, we're just really glad there's no loss of life.
You said that came in from the 3rd floor. Do you know what the call was? What was the initial fire?
I don't know what the initial call was. Just, an apartment fire. When I did speak to one of the fire investigators, it possibly started in the kitchen area of one of the suites.
Are we concerned about buildings in the surrounding areas?
At this time, it doesn't really look like that's, there's enough distance between them. But I'd have to speak to the firefighters to see, and they're obviously at this moment very busy. So,
thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
Tell you what, I got a workout out here.
Okay.
You've just been listening to an interview with Kara Cruz from Pittsburgh Public Safety. Want to quickly recap the points that she made there as we had new information come in there. 8:25 this morning, this fire was reported. First as a 2-alarm fire, it grew then to 4 alarms. It started on the 3rd floor of that apartment building, which housed around 30 people. All were able to escape safely. There are no reported injuries to either occupants in that building or firefighters currently. But there is also an electrical fire in the basement. So you have crews now fighting this fire from up top, from that 3rd floor and above, and now also in the basement. And we've also seen portions of that roof and that upper portion of the building collapse live on our coverage here this morning.
It is a very active scene. She did mention crews were fighting that electrical fire in the basement from the side, from the ground level. And then, of course, we've seen all those aerial ladder trucks fighting from the roof. She did mention on scene to help the occupants of that building, Salvation Army, Red Cross, working to make sure they're situated temporarily, but then also get them housing accommodations since this building obviously uninhabitable after this fire. I believe this building, it looks like based off of Google Maps here, this is the Jefferson apartment Apartments located on Forward Avenue. It's right across from the Lifetime Auto Center. So if you live in the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood, you drive through that area, this is the building we're talking about. It's a brown brick building to the left there as you continue south toward the Parkway East. Whether you want to take it inbound or outbound, you can also reach Homestead from this road. So very congested right now because of this heavy response for this fire. Avoid it at all costs. That's what we keep hearing people say, officials telling us, avoid this area at all costs at this point.
We have numerous reporters covering this story, including our Marcy Cipriani, who conducted this interview with a resident just a short time ago.
Around 8 this morning, there was a sudden smoke filling the building. My fire alarm went off. I thought it was a neighbor burning breakfast, so I opened my window to let the smoke out. Then the next thing I know, firefighters are going up the stairs to upper floors, and they're banging on the doors, letting everyone know you got to get out. So I thought it was a minor fire that they were going to take care of quickly, so I came out without my cell phone and shoes. But it turned out to be a bit more severe than anticipated, so.
Where is your apartment in the building?
107. I'm down on the first floor there.
So how long have you lived here, and how is this to look at?
I've lived here about 4 or 5 years now. This is the first time something like this has happened. The landlord's a good guy about this stuff, so honestly, it's kind of surreal seeing it all happen, and, you know, just crazy fires coming out of nowhere, where normally the biggest problem is whether or not the washing machines are working, you know?
So everything in there?
Well, just the third floor and the roof look to be the big problem, and since I live on the first, I'm hoping it's just smoke damage I got to deal with. But, you know, like I've told people before, I'm not a fire expert, obviously, otherwise I'd be helping them fight it. So all I can really do is cross my fingers and hope for the best.
You left everything, you said? Everything?
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was like a minor thing they were going to take care of relatively quickly. I didn't expect it to cause the whole roof to collapse, obviously. So, yeah, my cell phone, my shoes, everything's still in my apartment.
Wow.
So that was our Marcy Cipriani speaking with that gentleman, a resident there, one of right around 30 people that officials say lived in that building. And you heard him describe there that he found it was just something minor and not ever thinking that it would grow to the scope of what we've seen this morning. We have a note in from PennDOT here. Because of this fire, the ramp from Forward Avenue there in Squirrel Hill to westbound I-376, the Parkway East, that is closed to traffic until further notice.
Absolutely. And no surprise, as I mentioned, this response obviously blocking the entire roadway there. You can see Sam Hall's shot from Sky 4. Just a massive response. And Sam, it looks like crew's obviously working very hard for the last 2.5 hours or so at this point, but the scope of it just seems to keep growing. That smoke is really just covering this whole section of Squirrel Hill.
We're going to get to Sam in a moment. We have another interview with Marcy Cipriani we want to go to right now.
My cat is still there, and that's my
Oh.
daughter. That's me and my daughter.
So who helped you out?
Yeah, the paramedics. They're used now because I'm all in the hospital.
So how are you feeling now?
I'm all right. I'm just devastated. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed right now.
Have you lived here a long time?
About 7 years now.
So everything in there?
Yeah, some of my stuff is still there, but I'll be able to get it.
What are you going to do now? What do you think?
I don't know.
Are you going to be assisted by the Red Cross, Salvation Army? They'll help you out.
Right. I know we'll get a lot of help. I know that.
Tough to watch this?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Charlotte.
Spell that for me.
Charlotte, Charlotte, Weber.
Spell that.
Weber.
So you can't walk, or you just have trouble walking?
No, I had trouble walking. I'll fall.
So the medics helped you out?
Right, in the wheelchair. I go in and out all the time with the paramedics anyways.
We're happy you're okay.
I'm in Mercy Hospital, Mickey, all the time.
I'm happy you're okay.
Over here.
Hi, what's your name, sir?
I'm Joe. I'm my mother-in-law's caregiver.
Oh, okay. Tell me what happened.
Well,
I heard the alarm at first, and then I was doing laundry, and I went down, and I got that in the washer, then the dryer, and then I came back up, heard the first alarm, and then I heard the fire trucks, but they said it happened on the roof, so we're on the ground level. But we also have a little cat named Jelly, and I hope she's okay. I'm really scared, and I just don't want it to be my fault.
Why would you think it's your fault?
Because I should have gotten her out.
Oh, the cat?
Have you lived here for a while?
No, I don't live here.
You're the caretaker?
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys?
Well, they have a place where we live in West Mifflin, so they can come stay with us.
This is tough, though.
I'm just really worried about, and my mother-in-law has been crying. She's worried about the cat. But I got her closed in the bedroom, so they said she hides and she should be okay.
Thank you for talking with us. I'm glad everybody's safe.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot of people, or they're just sitting down. Yeah, without on wheelchairs. Wow.
gathering the emotions of residents in that apartment building there in Squirrel Hill South. You heard that sad account from that gentleman there a moment ago, Joe, who discussed and talked about the sadness of his cat still being in that building right now. We also heard from Charlotte there, who says that she was rescued by paramedics.
Okay. So in the press conference, I was listening on my phone. And, you know, they said they're fighting an electrical fire in the basement, but I guess at the same time, but there was somebody that said that they got a call from the third floor, the lady, right? I think she said there was a call from the third floor and that there might have been like a kitchen fire. And I'm looking at this building. It looks like it's 3 levels because that guy was like, oh, we heard it started on the roof. So maybe it started as a kitchen fire up top. I don't know how it got so crazy and out of control. I wonder if they had fire extinguishers in these apartments. It looks like they're, I wonder if they're all one bedroom. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 750 square feet.
And you think of those paramedics, you think of those firefighters still out there now, Elena. Just great admiration for those folks, and your heart goes out to these folks here who are watching all of this unfold as their apartment complex continues to be covered in smoke and flames.
And we are, you were just seeing, I believe it was maybe the Red Cross or Salvation Army, somebody was walking around passing out masks as that smoke is extremely thick. In fact, Marcy's shot there as she was interviewing those residents of that apartment building. You could see it start to get very smoky, almost difficult to see the shot. And you can see that smoke just spreading through the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood. We're seeing it from the Parkway East. We're seeing it on our action cam from downtown. So the smoke is definitely traveling, but certainly impacting those of you who are in the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood. Not a good idea to go out and, you know, walk the dog or walk around right now if you live in that area. And for those people on scene, if at all possible, to get a mask or cover their noses and mouths, probably a good idea. That smoke obviously can be very dangerous to inhale, and it's been billowing like that for quite a few hours now. It looks like we're watching a firefighter work his way up that aerial ladder to fight this.
So what I'm wondering too, oh, they ended this live here. Okay. What I'm wondering too, who was this person on the 3rd floor? Can they be held accountable? I guess it depends on the circumstances. I was reading, it says that people have been held accountable for damages if negligence is found after investigation, but insurance, I guess, will kick in. Yeah, and the other question too is like, did they have a fire alarm? Some people don't have fire alarms, or their fire alarm doesn't have. A lot of times you hear beep, beep in the background. Beep. Those people with the battery, they need to change the battery. Beep, beep. Never change the battery.
Smoke in that building. Back now up to Sky 4 and Sam Hall. Sam?
Ryan, we continue to see
renters insurance. True.
On the roof of an adjacent neighboring building here, trying to help knock back the flames and the smoke that continue to pour from this building along Forward Avenue. Tremendous amount of smoke that we've mentioned, and not much wind, so the smoke just kind of hanging around in the neighborhood, but it's trailing off a little bit. I think a very slight wind to the north and to the west, but it is a river of smoke as it makes its way over Shenley Park, Carnegie Mellon.
Fire alarm could be a lifesaver, man. Fire alarm could be a big time lifesaver. Give you a heads up something's burning. This morning I had turned on the stove to make some eggs. You know my ADD ass. I walked away and I started working on the backyard patio with everything open. There was nothing on the pan, but it started smoking a little bit, and the alarm went beep, 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 and I just turned it off. I'm like, oh shit. It's super important. Very can prevent a lot of things, So people that have their fire detectors with the battery dead or dying, you should change it. It's pretty simple, And some places have sprinkler systems too. The other place I used to live in had sprinkler system throughout the outside and the inside of the apartments.
Couple of hours.
But that last place I was in was more modern. This Pittsburgh one looks pretty old, pretty dated.
Pittsburgh Public Safety tells us that all people and all firefighters at this point are accounted for. There have been no injuries reported at this time. Currently, the focus remains at the top of that building, part of which, numerous portions of which have collapsed.
I know. What about the cat, right? Damn, man. Joey the cat.
This is a multi-layered approach here in terms of fighting this fire.
Absolutely. And if you are just joining us at 11 o'clock on this Tuesday afternoon, maybe we can get out to the map showing you exactly where this is. This is in Pittsburgh Squirrel Hill South neighborhood. This is right at the intersection of Murray and Forward. So if you're familiar with that, it's the busy stretch where the get-go is. Now, this building, I believe it is the Jefferson Apartments, is located on Forward Avenue. This is across from the Lifetime Auto Center. And if we can get out to the traffic maps, I can show you what exactly it's looking like now. This is just off of the Parkway East. So you are noticing some very heavy slowdowns as you travel outbound on the Parkway East. True. And if you look at the big picture, you're noticing that's really impacting traffic right around the Bates Street exit. So you are going to want to, if you're using Parkway East outbound, a good idea is to try to detour off in Oakland, work your way around the Squirrel Hill tunnels that way to avoid the area of Squirrel Hill along the Parkway East. And in this camera shot, you can see that smoke billowing on the left side of the screen here. So a very heavy response. This is a look at some of the traffic backups. And again, this is the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood intersection with Murray and Forward. And you will not be able to get onto the Parkway East toward Monroeville or toward the Parkway East heading in the westbound direction either. You're not able to continue on over to Homestead on Forward Avenue either. We did get word from PennDOT that obviously this stretch of roadway is closed off. So you will want to work your way around that if you're someone who drives through that area or is commuting a little bit later this morning. And we do have team coverage on that scene. We have Carlos Flores there. We have Marcy Cipriani, and of course we have Sam Hall in the area. And joining me is anchor Shannon Perrine to continue with our coverage of this massive fire impacting those of you in the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Elena, we
Jefferson
have every single one of our resources on this story right now as we're trying to make sure you have all the information you need. Good morning, everyone. I'm Shannon Perrine. You're in the right place. We're going to get you all the information that you need to know about this huge fire. Let's go right out now to Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Carlos Flores. Carlos, what's the latest from your perspective?
Well, Shannon, I can tell you the crowd surrounding watching this fire unfold is continuing to be pretty steady. Around 10 to 20 people have continued to stop on their morning walks and runs or on their way to work to see this fire really kind of unfold. But I'm going to step out of the way so we can give a good idea of what we are seeing from our vantage point. For folks at home, we are on Pecusset Street in Squirrel Hill South. This is directly almost above.
So I'm checking out, I'm trying to confirm that when this place was built. Nana said questioning 1930. I'm not sure yet. I do see the listing here. I couldn't believe I saw this requirement. Properties criteria, 680 plus credit score for that shit. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 750 square feet. You need 680? Here they show some of the, look at these guys right here. Some of the inside. Of course, one of the picture got liquor bottles. What's the inside? Cute little fireplace.
Who lives in this building but are still just heartbroken.
It's raining outside again.
Seeing what is happening right in front of them. Of course, immediately when I tell them that everyone was able to make it out safely, they're relieved. They're absolutely relieved, and now they're hopeful that the community can come together and help these people who are affected at this time. Of course, from a traffic perspective, Elena's been talking about it all morning. This section of Forward Avenue is completely shut off to traffic. So folks, if you're still making your way, or if you're still trying to run those errands, keep that in mind. Of course, officials have asked folks to avoid this area at this time. This is, of course, the intersection of Murray Avenue and Forward Avenues. Again, this smoke is continuing to just spread across the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood as crews are working to battle.
Supposedly 1930. A 3-story, 45-unit apartment. Oh, okay. Damn. Nearly 100 years old. Is that what it is? Wow.
Just curious to kind of see what was all the commotion about, and we're just heartbroken to see what is happening in front of us, of course, and they're immediately relieved to hear that everyone is okay. But of course, now they're praying for everyone who has been impacted and are hoping they can get back on their feet as soon as possible. But of course, this is an extremely devastating scene. I'm going to throw it back to you all in the studio so that way we can get a different perspective from our folks on the ground. But for now, covering Allegheny County, Carlos Flores, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
All right, Carlos, thank you once again for.
Yeah, it looks like there's pretty much studios and 1 bedroom, 1 baths in that place. 5660 Forward Avenue. A couple of buildings that are right there, all connected to each other. That's really unfortunate and sad for those people, man. But at least nobody's deceased. But, these people's places, who knows what kind of pets are in there, animals. Maybe some people left behind. Built in 1930. Wow. It says here, units are currently waitlisted. There's people, they're saying on the listing here, there's so many people trying to get in that there's a waiting list. Hurry, get on the list. Most units have real hardwood floors. Other feature wall-to-wall carpet. Major bus arteries to Oakland and downtown Pittsburgh. Please read and understand before responding. Lease term is 1 year. No pets. Credit/background checks are performed. Okay. Well, now this place is
on the fire, which you can actually see the flames now through that intense
Still
smoke.
going?
There have been periods out here, though, where the smoke is so intense we can't see in front of us. These firefighters have been working diligently to get this fire under control, and it has been hours, and they still have not been able to really get that part handled, because as you heard Kara Cruz tell us, there is also an electrical fire burning in the basement. So they have several things going on here. We saw the roof collapse. In fact, we saw a couple of collapses here. So really their focus right now is controlling this fire. I have had a chance to talk with several people who were inside. One woman who was in a wheelchair,
very tough time getting out. She says paramedics had to help her out. She's concerned about her cat left inside. I talked to one man also who left without his shoes and without his phone because he really believed this was going to be just a very quick evacuation. As you can see, that is not the case. And just a few minutes ago, I talked to a woman who owns the building just next door. In fact, that building is just on the other side, and she's concerned about her building as well. From my vantage point, there's a decent separation, so they haven't really seen any damage over there, but that's a concern here as well. So several things that they're dealing with down here, but the main focus at this point is really getting this under control. As you mentioned, 30 people living inside the building all have been evacuated safely. Many of them still sitting here, many of them watching, some near tears as they watch their home and all their belongings inside. But Red Cross, Salvation Army are here. They're passing out snacks. They're offering comfort as the firefighters continue their time here trying to get this under control. This is still going to be a little bit, of course, they have no time frame. They are warning people, stay away from this area.
Look at the windows.
Carlos talking about the people walking by, the people that he's talked to. They are warning that you really do stay away from this area. Pittsburgh paramedics are here as well. They are standing by in case anyone is injured. Of course, firefighters still actively involved here. So far, none of them have been injured at this point, which is a great news, of course.
Let me just refresh this. I want to make sure, because I think I got a little behind. Make sure it's the latest plan. Maybe I shouldn't have touched it. It happens every time. Oh, wait. Let's get this on a better.
Pittsburgh paramedics were the ones that helped her out. So as they sit here watching the home burn, the building and their home, they're really emotional. They're concerned not only about their belongings, but mainly about the cat. And of course, another gentleman that I spoke to is the one who said he lives on this side, which is where the fire started, although it was on the 3rd floor. He's on that section of the building. And he says he left really just thinking it was a minor fire. He left with no shoes, left with no cell phone, and doesn't really know what's next for him. He's hoping that when this is over, and a lot of people are actually expressing some hopefulness that when this is over, if they live on the 1st floor, that they may be able to get inside. Now, I'm not sure whether that's possible. We do know, as I mentioned, besides the fire on the roof that's moving through the building, there's an electrical fire in the basement. So the damage inside is likely extensive. And whether they can get in, it'll be some time before they know that. At this point, they're really just gathered out here. They're really just waiting for some news. And as you mentioned, very emotional, very upset, not only at the belongings inside, but at that cat that those residents tell me they left behind and they're quite concerned about.
That story, Marcy, thank you so much. I think that story really brings home the fact that this emergency is continuing. It is not over, despite the fact that all the humans have been removed from that building and evacuated successfully. You think about the heroics going on right now, those firefighters making sure those 30-some residents got out of that building in a hurry. And then you also heard Kara Cruz from the City of Pittsburgh Public Safety talking about the fact that there were some real delicate and frightening moments when they did have those firefighters inside the building and they knew that collapse could be coming. So they had to get some radio transmissions to get those firefighters out ASAP, and they did, thankfully. So the strategy switches now because they're dealing with that electrical fire in the basement, and you can still see the flames in the top of that old building, that stone building, and what's going on inside of there and that smoke billowing out. Just to take a moment with you all to welcome you back to Pittsburgh's Action News 4. If you are just joining us, we're covering major breaking news in the city of Pittsburgh, very special neighborhood of Squirrel Hill. If you've ever driven on Murray Avenue, you've driven by this apartment. And this apartment is not just a building. It has been the home to about 30 people. And those 30 people now thinking about what the loss of not just their home, but everything inside their apartments is going to mean for them moving forward. It's a really terrifying situation when you have those folks who are in that building who had to get out in a hurry. And you're watching here on Pittsburgh's Action News 4 as we're breaking into programming. you're watching that emergency response, and you're watching how those first responders, how those heroes rush to the scene and do the delicate work that they do. And we want to let you know once again, first of all, that we're dealing with a fire that's been going on since just about 8:30, 8:25 this morning. It quickly spread from 2 alarms, 3 alarms, then 4 alarms. And those firefighters got there and they did get everybody out of that building. We have word that maybe there are some pets still in that building, and we don't know what the status of that rescue is going to be. It's gonna be tough because that building, we've already had some indications that it will likely be a total loss. We also want to let you know that if this is something that you want to see up close, do not go there. You cannot help. The firefighters, the people who need to be there are there, and you don't want to get any closer to that fire or really to that smoke than you need to be. I was coming into work this morning, coming over the Rankin Bridge, and you could see on this clear September day that the smoke from this neighborhood in Squirrel Hill has just spread over the entire atmosphere of the city of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. You could see the smoke coming from miles and miles away.
And that really is one thing we've been seeing in every shot, every live shot we've had there, whether it's Sky 4, Carlos Flores' shot, who's live on scene, Marcy shots. We've seen that thick smoke in the background and just covering that Squirrel Hill South neighborhood. Carlos has spoken to many people. We'll hear an interview from one of those people who live in that area in just a moment. But a lot of people have said, oh, I was out, walking the dog, and then I just wanted to see what was going on. And they're standing.
Yeah, I was surprised about that too. SW said I'm surprised only 30 people live in there. I thought they said it was like 40 something. Where's the listing? Did I delete it again? I thought they said it was like 40 something people there, and some people were away. Some of the apartments were empty. But I mean, yeah, you would think there's more there. It's 3 levels. 1 bed, 1 bath.
Particularly with fires like this, they may very well need to get different emergency vehicles and personnel into that really
Some people may be
concentrated
working.
Part of Squirrel Hill. So if your car is there or if you are there, you could be in the way of additional resources and vehicles and personnel coming into the air. This is video from earlier today, and you can just see this large,
Just listen a little to the scanner.
Copy that. 1116.
Oops.
Other dangers could be taking place.
And this is obviously a huge response, started around 8:30, 8:45 this morning, continuing now. Still very heavy smoke and flames billowing from that building. And a firefighter, a source of mine, noted that brick insulates fire. And this is likely going to be a very long day and a very long firefight, as that entire large apartment building is brick. We know also, we were told by Kara Cruz of Pittsburgh Public Safety that there are 2 separate fires crews are fighting. There's one on the top floor, that 3rd floor, and that's why you see all those aerial ladder trucks and crews fighting from the top, but also then an electrical fire in the basement. So crews on the ground level fighting this 2nd fire, trying to get the flames knocked down. Obviously, we've been telling you, thank goodness everybody is safe who lived in that building, all 30 or so residents, but a very active scene, likely will stay active for some time. And just hearing from people in that area this morning, Carlos Flores has been there for hours for us, talking with some people who were walking by or live in the area. We're going to get out to one of those interviews he conducted now.
How did you notice this? Where were you when this kind of started?
I was driving by to get through. I'm on my way to work, and I looked over and I seen that, and my husband's a firefighter, so I hurried up and pulled over and looked and seen all the flames, and it's been bad since I've been here.
And I guess when just seeing this in front of you, what has been your initial reaction, just seeing the level of response and just the fire just shooting out of the top of the building?
Hoping everybody got out safe, because it is a bad fire, and hoping all the firemen were out, and I just seen them all go in now. So.
Did you happen to know anyone who lived in the building or knew anyone who lived in that building?
No, I hadn't.
And I guess just to know just the level of response that's happening, just to know that there's...
reposition the aerial. Copy.
Who are maybe impacted by something like this right now?
To just, I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know where they're going to. Obviously, the building is they don't have any place to stay, and it looks like a big apartment building. So I'm sure a lot of people will be out of homes.
And is there anything else you would like to add just about what you're seeing here at this very moment, early this morning, as folks are being impacted right before your eyes?
No, my thoughts and prayers are with everybody. Hope everybody's safe and has family members to go to other places to go and stay.
All right, and just to give you an idea of where this fire is, we're talking about Pittsburgh Squirrel Hill South.
Let me see what else.
Specifically, this is at the.
Pretty crazy, big fire. It's gonna take them a while to put that out. And some international news, though, they said that Israel struck Doha, Qatar, and supposedly targeted Hamas leaders. It's kind of big, right? Everybody's talking about it. Political, international stuff. And they also said, I think I saw somewhere that, oh, wow. Swedish Health Minister Elizabeth collapses during press conference, condition unclear. Let's check that out. That just came out now. Thank you, Katarina. Good morning if you're watching.
Ordnanden, eller hur Jakob? Det tänker jag vi har i en särskild övning möjligen. Hälso- och sjukvården.
Oh, snap. Oh my God. What happened?
Cat engine, you're overshooting the building.
Ordnanden, eller hur Jakob? Det tänker jag vi har i en särskild övning möjligen. Hälso- och sjukvården.
Wow. Jeez. That just happened.
Ordnanden, eller hur Jakob? Det tänker jag vi har i en.
Much better.
They're saying Qatar suspends its mediation efforts between Israel and Hamas. Uh-oh. Well, there's no more Hamas, I guess. Yeah, some people say there's no more Hamas. I don't know. Trump was trying to tell them that they need to come to terms, Hamas, like come sit at the table to talk. But, No way. No way. You guys remember, I don't know if you follow me all the time. I know some of you do, some of my stuff. We just briefly mentioned yesterday in a live stream. Remember the Tesla? There was a Tesla with a body in it. Apparently it's this guy's body, singer D4VD. I listened to some of his music. That's crazy. I've heard of some of his songs before. There's some song I heard from the guy. I think I have. I don't know. Is it him? I think I have. Wow. D4VD's Tesla found in LA Empano with a putrid plastic wrap body inside. Registered to popular New York-born singer D4VD days after it was abandoned and taken to a Los Angeles tow yard. Police made a grisly discovery. The body was found inside the car. The identity of the victim wasn't immediately known. Human remains were found. So is it him or somebody else? In that time, D4VD has been sharing routine posts with his 2 million followers on Instagram.
Operations from command. I believe he left.
Oh, I guess it's not him. Okay. So it's not him. I thought it was his body. They made it seem like it's a vehicle registered in his name. That's going to be weird and interesting. Was it stolen or something? Was his car stolen? That's weird. He's going to have to answer for that. A singer found in his, a body found in his car. He's on tour. Whoa.
Fire dispatch to Forward Avenue, command.
Go ahead.
Do you need
You're watching this in some of the
to return to the scene?
That's affirmative.
All right, that's received. And you are now just approaching your 3-hour mark.
Copy that. Conditions are the same. They haven't changed much. We're still operating defensive mode. Still have our master streams in effect. And no unmet needs at this time.
Received. 11:25.
Attention all master stream companies. Shut your lines down. All master streams, shut your lines down.
Engine pumpman, lower your pressure. Engine pumpman, lower your pressure some more.
Graded or shifted over from one side of the building to the other, and now all the efforts from crews are concentrated on this left side of the building. You can just see several crews battling these flames on all angles, trying to get this under control. There's still very visible flames on the roof portion of that building.
Crazy,
if Dave wants to slide over just a little bit to the right, you can see there's still leftover flames on that middle portion of the building. Again, it just shows how active this scene really is, as crews have been working nonstop trying to get this under control. Black smoke is still covering the area. The winds have also been pushing this smoke every which way. They've pushed it towards us. We've definitely been hit with some of that smoke. It's pushed out towards the rest of the neighborhoods. And like Brian has mentioned, it is definitely something you don't want to be out here for. Definitely stay inside at all times if absolutely possible, of course. But there have been people walking by, stopping, being curious, wondering exactly what's been going on since we've arrived here, close to around 9 this morning. There have been people we spoke with, curious to kind of see what's been going on, all the way up, standing from where we are, which we are on Pecusset Street, which is the street above Forward Avenue where this fire is happening. But of course, you know, for a traffic perspective, that section of Forward Avenue at like near Murray's Avenue.
All right, you're cleared to open back up Charlie Bravo corner. Received.
So still burning. Arson investigation update. What's this about? Jacksonville Police Department.
And as at that point, the fire was mainly concentrated towards this right side of the building, as crews were kind of battling it at all angles, from up above and from down below. I'm sure Sam has given you a great perspective on what this really looks like. And since then, it has just shifted. It has migrated over. We've noticed several portions of what believes to be the roof to collapse. And now we're on this left side of the building, as that black smoke is still just pushing itself out and is just covering the neighborhood. plenty of people just watching and just in awe of what we are seeing at this point. Thankfully, again, we've heard from public safety officials that at least 30 people have been accounted for and everyone is safe, which is great to hear. But of course, those firefighters, as Marcy mentioned and as Shannon mentioned, they're hard at work. They're still trying to get this under control. So there's still that level of threat and danger that we are continuing to monitor and trying to give you all as much updates as possible. But again, it's just an absolutely shocking scene. We spoke with several people just where we are who have stopped, either were in their morning meetings and happened to smell the smoke, or taking their dogs out for a walk, or driving to work, and they've all noticed this and decided to stop, park, and just absolutely just stare. And a lot of it.
13 truck. We're going to exchange your aerial straight up.
Yeah, I think the building's a total loss, man.
They're okay, and praying for the firefighters involved. But of course, we actually spoke with one woman who was moved to tears, not because she knew someone in this fire, but because she was affected by a fire herself with her family.
Bring your arrow to the right some and go along the B wall and the C corner. 17 truck B and C corner, copy.
Next from here, and I've heard time and time again the community here saying, okay, we're going to help them out. We're Squirrel Hill, and we're own when something is down. And that's something that I've heard constantly this morning, and it shows as people have been very active and just curious and just wondering how everyone is doing. Of course, as soon as we give them the news that everyone is still plenty of flames to get under control. There's still plenty of smoke covering a large portion of the neighborhood. So it's something to not.
This is the total Charlie side at the roof burning now. Copy that.
It's a brick building. So it says brick itself doesn't burn. It's made from clay fired at thousands of degrees, so flames won't ignite it. Fire barrier brick walls can act as a shield, slowing fire spread between units. Keep structure standing. Even if the inside burns, exterior brick walls often remain intact. That's why after a fire, you'll see only the brick shell of a building left standing. Collapse risk. Once interior support burns away, heavy brick walls can topple outward. Heat traps. Brick holds heat. Once the fire is inside, those walls radiate it back, making interior firefighting brutally hot. Hidden fire pockets. Flames can travel through ceilings, floors, and voids behind the brick veneer. Crews may think they've knocked it down, but hot spots smolder behind walls. Collapse danger. Brick adds weight. If interior burns out, those heavy walls can suddenly fall, forcing firefighters to fight from a distance instead of going inside. Ventilation issues. It's harder to cut through brick to let the smoke and heat escape compared to wood siding.
The intersection of Murray and Forward. It's kind of a five-way tricky intersection when you first get into the Squirrel Hill neighborhood, right by that get-go that sits on the corner. This building is actually located on Forward, just slightly down the road from that intersection. It's across from a Lifetime Auto Center, if you're familiar with the area. It's also the intersection that gets you access to the Parkway East, both inbound and outbound from Pittsburgh Squirrel Hill South neighborhood. You can also reach Homestead from Forward Avenue. That roadway shut down at this point in the morning. This fire broke out about 8:45, so crews have been out there fighting this for several hours now. We know that the fire was at the top floor, but that's not all. We were told by Pittsburgh Public Safety Kara Cruz that Crews are also fighting a fire in the basement, an electrical fire. So fighting both from the top using aerial ladder trucks and then on the ground level as well. We do have full team coverage for you in this 11:30 half hour. We have Marcy Cipriani on scene. You heard from Carlos Flores. We also have Sam Hall in the sky. Let's get out to Marcy Cipriani now. What can you tell us at this point, Marcy?
Well, this fire is still burning pretty intensely here. It's been 3 hours since this first started. I want you to actually take a look. You can see in this window here on the 3rd floor of the building, the flames that are still burning and a lot of heavy smoke here. There have been several collapses here of the roof. We know that the fire, according to officials, started on the 3rd floor, but it is also burning in the basement, an electrical fire. You can see lots of fire crews here sort of rotating in and out, watching to make sure that it, of course, is stable. There have been 30 people evacuated from that building. I spoke to several of them. One woman in a wheelchair said the Pittsburgh paramedics actually had to help her out. But this fire, I am told from a source, was called in by someone actually driving by. In fact, several people, I'm told, saw the smoke from the roof. That is what alerted officials to this fire. And I did talk to a man who lives in the building who says when he was told of the fire, he really thought it was a minor fire. He came out bare feet, no shoes, no cell phone. And that's sort of what we're hearing from a lot of people here. They did not realize just how intense this fire was going to be. Many people left things behind. A woman I spoke to in a wheelchair says that her cat was left behind. She's quite emotional about that. At this point, though, it is unclear when this scene will be clear enough for people to get in, see if there's anything salvageable. As I mentioned, it's been burning for 3 hours, and if you look up, you can see just how thick the smoke is. It actually takes over the building at some points where we can't even see the building there. So this will be some time. Again, 30 people evacuated. Pittsburgh Public Safety says everyone has been safe, including all of the firefighters, and you can just see firefighters from throughout the city are here on the scene. So at this point, the main focus is getting the fire under control, making sure that they can get the fire's still going, man, inside a place to stay. Many I spoke to said they're not really sure what's next. The Salvation Army is here, the Red Cross is here, making sure everybody is fed and has the resources they need to get by once this fire is out and they know sort of what the next steps are. So an area you do want to stay away from, an area that will likely be blocked off for most of the day. And we're going to continue to stay here to gather more information on, of course, the cause of the fire, whether smoke alarms inside the building went off. The people I talked to, as I mentioned, said that they had no idea that a fire was underway until they were told to get out of the building. So lots of questions still here, but the main focus at this point is getting the fire under control and getting those people who live inside the building a safe place. Look again up here at the top. You can see the intense smoke. It is very dark again at this point, so you can see fire burning in the windows there. Still a lot of work to be done here. So as I mentioned, the fire crews are rotating in and out. This will be some time, so you do want to stay away from this area. Again, it is Forward and Murray. For now, covering Allegheny County in Squirrel Hill South, Marcy Cipriani, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Marcy, stay with me for a second as we talked to you just over the past hour or so. You were able to talk to some residents who got out of there quickly, and a caretaker, a gentleman who is in that building a lot and doing laundry for his mother-in-law. You know, the fact that we have no human injuries is really amazing and wonderful news. But there is immediately right now definitely a human cost as these people, it appears, have lost everything they own, every belonging that they have. Are you hearing from people kind of still in shock?
Oh, for sure. Everyone that I spoke to is actually hopeful. They're looking at this building behind us which, as you can see, has taken heavy, heavy damage. And many of them are still hopeful that maybe they can get inside, maybe they can salvage something. People on the first floor mostly, but as we mentioned, besides the fire on the third floor, there's an electrical fire burning in the basement. So it's really unclear if anything would be salvageable. But those I spoke to all came out with really nothing. As I mentioned, no shoes, no cell phone. Woman in a wheelchair had to be assisted out. It was her son-in-law who says he was doing laundry when he realized what was happening, and he's pretty emotional because he feels like he should have found a way to get her cat out. So a lot of emotions going on, not only looking at this building for what maybe they lost inside, whether it is a pet or their items. Several of them have lived here for several years, so a lot of their belongings in there, and they did not imagine that the fire would look like this when they evacuated. So this is still something they're trying to work out. Salvation Army, as I mentioned here, giving resources as well as the Red Cross, seeing what they can do to help these people as best.
The C side, which is visible fire everywhere on the roof. Fine. We also have on, if you're looking at the building, it would be the D, C area. And we have a 2.5 up here. If you give the go, we're going to hit this whenever you're ready. Yeah, we're sorry. Go ahead and open it up. Copy that.
My opinion. Thank you.
The app, you can hit this red bar and you can take us with you. If you're watching us on TV at home somewhere and you need to leave, you can stay on top of this breaking news because we are going to stay on top of this as well. Those firefighters and those first responders, those emergency crews, they are doing what they do. They are attacking this from every point that they can. They're getting on top of it. And we here at Pittsburgh's Action News 4 are doing what we do, and that's to deliver you the most important information about how this impacts Pittsburgh and how it impacts you. And I think, Elena, one way it really is impacting a lot of people is the proximity of this terrible fire to the Parkway East, right there by the Squirrel Hill tunnels, a place that anybody who's spent any time in Pittsburgh knows very well.
Absolutely, and you said not just the Parkway East, but the Squirrel Hill Tunnel, and
Never
that's a very tricky area, obviously impacting traffic in the inbound direction, but also the outbound direction. If you're not really able to reach the Squirrel Hill neighborhood and get to that 5-way intersection where that gecko's located in Pittsburgh Squirrel. Drone 4, and you can see just this aerial shot of the response on this scene, the impact it's having, and you see also the Parkway East there. Traffic is slowing at the Squirrel Hill Tunnel. A huge response to this massive fire that's been ongoing for about 3 hours right now. Now, if you're in this area, in this neighborhood, good idea to not only stay away from that scene, but maybe stay indoors, close the windows. This smoke has been very heavy, just blanketing that area.
Yeah, and this is another example of how we're able to show you different perspectives. We have more than one visual from above. We've got drone 4 right here giving you these images of the smoke, and this smoke changes hour to hour, throughout the morning. This more than 3 hours that the fire has been burning. Now it's sort of a grayish white smoke. At times when something else is catching fire inside this building, it's a thick black smoke. And our Carlos Flores put it well and said, you can see that the flames and the fire itself, and really unfortunately, the problem migrates from one part of this old brick building, this apartment building in Squirrel Hill, to the other. And you can see across on the left side of your screen, those are what I believe are some newer apartment buildings where that pole eyes used to be. Murray Avenue, as it kind of bridges through the Squirrel Hill neighborhood as part of a major thoroughfare within a major business and residential district. And right now we understand that Fire Chief Daryl Jones is joining us live.
You want me to hold one of those for you?
Give me some more pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. Are you okay, Tori?
Yes, thank you.
The fire chief.
Hold on. I don't have any cards. Go ahead.
Okay.
Are you good?
Yeah.
All right. Be working on putting my car. Okay. I think.
Chief, what can you tell us?
Okay. So.
All right, Tara, what do we got?
This morning at 8:25, we received an alarm for a possible structural fire at this address on Forward Avenue. First arriving unit was 18 engine. It arrived at 8:30. They immediately reported smoke showing in a roof line. They entered the building searching for the fire. The other units arrived on scene. They found fire in the ceiling on the 3rd floor. They immediately evacuated the building and it went up to multiple alarms. We are now holding at a 4th alarm. There are 73 firefighters on duty on the scene right now. No reported injuries. Red Cross and Salvation Army are taking care of the residents.
How are the firefighters? How are they dealing with this? How are the firefighters handling it?
They're dealing with, as they usually do. The Salvation Army brings in their Sally wagon. We have water and rehab area for them to rest up, recharge, and get back into the fight.
As far as the firefight itself, just to clarify, common wall, several buildings, were there firewalls in between the sections of the roof?
There was no firewalls that we can detect. There was one, I apologize, there was one, but it was defeated. So it was going across from right to left as you face the building. The firewall was going from front to back in one section of one wing of the building, but it was defeated. Right now, as you can see, the roof is burned off the building.
We appear to have had several partial collapses during the entire time. I remember hearing the blast, and that signified what?
That signified that everybody was to evacuate the building. All firefighters come out the building. Once they were out of the building, we did what we call a PAR check, a personnel accountability report, where dispatch goes through every engine company here, talk to that company officer, make sure that everybody is accounted for. Whenever we transition from an offensive to a defensive position like we did here, or there's some type of collapse and we're pulling people out the building, we do a PAR check, make sure we didn't leave anybody behind.
We heard there was electrical fire in the basement. Are you still battling that?
Yes, and we're not sure exactly what the status of that is since we're in a defensive mode. No one inside the building, but we do have lines from the exterior attacking that part of the fire as well.
Can you say whether there were smoke alarms in that building?
That I don't know.
Residential accountability, what do we know?
As far as I know, everyone's present and accounted for. We did our primary and secondary searches. We have not received any reports of anyone missing at this time. They are at the JCC, and then the Red Cross will be moving them to a permanent shelter if necessary.
Any injuries for those residents, firefighters?
No injuries.
How about pets? Were there pets in the building?
That I don't know.
Residents, you indicated was there a possible kitchen fire on the 3rd floor or something of that?
That, like I said, is under investigation, so I don't know. Can't speak to that.
This is a pretty solid structure. Normally we don't see these firefights take this long. Can you talk a little bit about
So
that?
this is because of, one, the age of the structure and the construction type. This is what they call ordinary construction. It is masonry walls that you see on the outside, but everything on the inside, the floors, the roof, the rafters, the floor joists is all wood. All right, and fire, it also has spaces where fire can travel. So this is what happens when you have that. More modern construction defeats that, but right now this is what the hand we're dealt, and this is what we have to deal with.
What are we dealing with right now? How much farther? Or is it, like you said before, this fire could be burning for a while?
This is going to be here for a while. We are not under control. I usually wouldn't talk to the media unless it was under control, but we're going to be here for a minute. So,
In the area, you need to get more trucks in. What would you say to people coming through, walking, visiting the area?
be safe, stay out of the way, try to stay behind the lines that we have to establish the hot zone and warm zone and cold zone, because they're there for a reason. Right now we have the necessary resources that we have, so we're good to go.
Rehabilitation of firefighters coming in and out, how's that going?
Going pretty good. Like I said, Salvation Army, Red Cross, passing out water, energy drinks, even food. So we're going to be here for a minute. The good news is it's not as hot as it could be. If it was in a day in the 90s or something like that, this would be much worse on my guys.
From your experience and what you can see, will residents ever be allowed back in this building?
This building is heavily damaged. And not that I'm not a carpenter or anything, but I doubt it very seriously.
Right.
One hell of a fight?
Yes. Yeah, this is just going one of those ones that we just have to be patient. And because of the partial collapse, we have to consider that the whole building is suspect now. So I can't send my guys in. And all that water you see going in, that's weight. That's tons.
That's true.
And
I thought
tons
about
of
that too.
water, a live load that we put into this building that this building wasn't designed to hold. So we're going to be real careful here, no loss of life, and just take our time to make sure we do this right. So
what do you attribute to the fact that you have people in wheelchairs, all kind of people in that building, everybody got out safely? Was it the firemen that got everybody out? Or did they get a warning?
Yeah, we heard that there were some wheelchair affected residents.
yes, so a little bit of both. One is the location of the fire. It was up on the 3rd floor in the ceiling. So none of the hallways or anything like that was stopped or trapped. There was no smoke in the hallways. My guys are going in. There's people going into their apartments thinking that everything's okay. So we had that in our favor, and the guys explaining to them what the situation was, and my guys helped those who needed help to get out of the building.
Other than that, how are you?
Thanks, Chief.
I could use a bourbon and a cigar. Take that on.
That was funny.
We're gonna let Marcy.
I was like, "How are you?" I was like, "I could use a bourbon and a cigar." You know, he's old school, just unfiltered. Keep it out like that. Wow. So yeah, it's an old structure. We got the bricks, the way it was built. He did say there was a firewall, which is interesting. So the firewall thing is something that I guess they put in some of these buildings to stop fire from spreading. And he said the firewall was defeated. Mandy, thank you so much. Well, I don't know about the cat. I don't know, because they said the cat was the first floor. The other thing too he had pointed out, and I had thought about that myself, was the water, the weight of water. When I think about this fish tank, and I've had to move twice already. Twice, I think. Yeah, I think so. That thing is no joke. I have like a little, I don't know what the proper name of it. I have like a dolly, but like with a flatbed on it. That flatbed dolly thing is amazing. That thing is a lifesaver. So yeah, water is very, very heavy. And so they're pouring all this water into a building that's already structurally, the integrity is not there and not meant to handle all that. So that's another factor. And then he said they're in defensive mode. So, I mean, what I could see that means is that basically the firefighters are not inside of the building. They pull out of the building because they were inside evacuating people, telling them to get out. But the building's too dangerous. You know, risk of collapse, which is collapsed the roof several times, I guess they said. Uncontrolled fire spread, zero visibility. And so the firefighters are not inside the building now. So they're in defense mode, I guess, defensive. And I thought there was something else. What else? And there's a whole brick stuff element to it also. The good thing, everybody is out. The bad thing is, well, the pets inside, you know, as they were describing people thought it was just going to be the small little minor fire. So there was one guy that literally walked out barefoot. Just all right, we'll be back in a little bit. People left all kinds of stuff behind. The lady left her cat behind. And some people are thinking, oh, once this thing is out, we'll be able to walk back inside. Some of those people that live on the first floor. I'll just go back inside and grab my stuff. That building, like the chief said too, and as many people speculated, it's probably toast. It's just not safe. I mean, how are you gonna? There's no way. How do you come back? Look at this right now. How do you come back from that? You can't.
Building, as drivers were passing by, they noticed, they called 911, and also now a second fire, an electrical fire in the basement. Crews are working to get that knocked down.
And the fire in the basement.
Massive response. You can see the aerial ladder trucks and and water shooting from every which way onto that building, trying to get this under control this afternoon as we get closer to noon.
Yeah.
Sam Hall is.
Renters insurance is important. I do have to get some new ones since I just moved in here. I'm going to look into that because anything could happen, and the most expensive stuff I think is my computer stuff for the most part. I mean, everything kind of costs money, but the most important thing, like physically, would probably be the computer. Oops. But yeah, they're going to have to demolish the building. Yeah, this building, it's a danger for the firefighters, for the people, everybody. No way you can go back. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if they'll be able to go back to grab their things. Just to grab a couple of things. I thought there was a situation where they let people grab a couple of things or something. I don't remember. I don't even know if they'll let them go back in for that, honestly.
It is now 100% completely gone. The roof is gone, and
Roof is gone.
The brick facade. I'm going to zoom in here and kind of brighten up this picture for you.
Look at that.
Much of the brick facade has collapsed either down into the building or onto the sidewalk on Forward Street as you make your way along the front or in the back as well. You can see much of that facade completely gone. A tremendous fight for these firefighters, and again emphasizing the tremendous good news. There was no injury or loss of life so far. Of course, a tremendous loss to the folks that lived here. Good news is that there are agencies on scene helping those people, but the bad news is this continues to be a tremendous fight for these fire crews on the scene. Every time they seem to get the flames knocked down in one area, they pop up in another area, and I'm wondering if it's not because of that rubberized roof. More, of course, as we get it from Sky 4. Shannon and Helena.
Sam Hall, thank you so much for that perspective in your.
NC Kelly in the chat says, I sell new construction homes. We have two-hour firewalls in our townhomes. It will collapse once the pins release to smother the fire and help keep it from spreading to the next unit. Very interesting. Thank you for that information. Renters insurance. Yeah, renters insurance is pretty cheap. It's pretty affordable. Depending on what you're trying to cover. It's worth it. It's worth it, man, because you just don't know what's going to happen, whether it's fire or water damage, flooding, hurricane, or I guess it depends where you're at. Earthquake. I don't know if they cover that. I'm assuming they would.
Kind of wind situation right now today. It's a clear day, Brian.
Yeah, it is a clear day, Shannon and Ellen, and the winds are light as well. But as the fire the smoke kind of keeps going up, though, as our temperatures warm, we've lost the lid that was out there that kind of kept the smoke close to the ground. Now it's continuing to rise up, and so any wind that's out there grabs it and pushes it further to the north. So this is looking from Mount Washington. You can see One Oxford Center here. So we're looking past downtown towards Squirrel Hill, and you can see Sky 4 in the shot as well. So all of that smoke is billowing up, and that smoke is then being pushed off towards the north. So if we change perspectives here and move from Wilkinsburg looking back towards the fire, again, you can.
That's why they say it's good to have a go bag, I guess. I mean, you just never know. You're just going to have to get up and run. Immediately, just run, There's, they have a drone. Let me switch to the drone thing. I'll keep the news thing on the side, but the drone footage. So the white smoke is good, as they say, the white smoke, but you can still see fire there, though. I mean, I see fire. It looks like he's trying to shoot down at it. Usually the white smoke is a good sign. Roof is gone. He said the building is brick, but then what did he say? There's masonry and wood and whatever, I forgot, on the inside. That's why the one thing I was reading, sometimes you see these fires and it's like the brick is what's left standing. And then like, the outside wall is the brick and everything else kind of burns and collapses. Or I can't imagine what it must be like for those people just sitting there. A lot of those people are sitting outside watching, right? You think you had a bad day, stuck in traffic or some whatever, got cut off. Look at these people's houses burned. Talk about a bad day, right? Oh, this is a helicopter. I thought it says drone title, but this is chopper footage, looks like. Wow. I wonder how many pets got left behind in the building. Had insurance on the storage unit. It flooded from the roof. Really? And the insurance refused to pay me, saying it was in standing water. It was standing while the owner wouldn't pay me either. A 20 by 30? Wow. That's the only thing, man, with these insurance companies too, they screw over so many people. Paying for a service and the time comes when you need it and they're not there. You can't use it. Okay, that one doesn't have any audio. Let me check the broadcast.
We're continuing to follow.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 at noon starts right now.
This is Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
So, he said it's going to take a long time. I guess this could be like an all-day thing. Hours and hours. The priority is safety, I guess, and there's nobody inside, so. And the firefighters are taking like shifts and turns, I guess, to put out this fire. Oof. Whole place, man, lit up, smoked out.
Our coverage of this huge fire impacting Pittsburgh's Squirrel Hill neighborhood. I'm Shannon Perrine.
And I'm Elena LaQuatra. Right now, we have live team coverage covering several
asbestos. I didn't think about that.
Firefighters battling those intense flames, to evacuations, to what you need to know about traffic in that area. We first want to get out live to Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Carlos Flores. He's been on that scene all morning long since about 9 this morning. Carlos, what's the latest information you have from fire officials?
Well, I can tell you, Elena, it has been pretty much an active scene from where we are. Just to give folks an idea, we've been on Pecusset Street in Squirrel Hill South. I'm going to step out of the way to give you an exact idea of what we're looking at this very moment. This is directly above where this fire is happening, as crews are continuing to work to get under control, rather, as plenty of people in the neighborhood have been stopping and walking, just trying to see what has been going on. A lot of folks said they didn't even know what was going on until they started smelling smoke earlier this morning, whether it be walking their dogs or in their morning meetings. But of course, this has been something that's been very shocking to the community. A lot of folks are just shocked to kind of see what happened, but we have been hearing it time and time again this morning how active this fire is as it continues to migrate over from right to left. Now you can see a lot of the concentrated efforts from firefighters is on the left side of this building. You can see several water cannons focusing and emphasizing on this side of the building. But again, this has all been very active and moving as we have been talking, but a lot of the folks we spoke with are just in shock. Plenty of people have told me they don't even know anyone in this building, but they are still just saddened to hear who everyone has been affected. Thankfully, according to officials, we have been told everyone has been accounted for and is safe, which is great to hear. But of course, now the next step happens on what happens now for a lot of those folks. And from what I've heard, a lot of the times from people walking by is that they're here for everyone who's affected. This community is ready to help. Take a listen from what this one person we spoke to about just her reaction to seeing just the level of smoke and response.
The entire neighborhood is really engulfed in smoke right now. It's a huge fire. I have not seen anything of this scale ever before.
And a lot of folks, just like that, echoing those same feelings and concerns as crews are still working to kind of really put this fire under control. We've heard from the fire chief, we've heard from public safety officials, and saying this is not over just yet. They're still trying to get this handled and encouraging folks to please stay away from the area as much as possible. We have mentioned time and time again just to avoid this area of Squirrel Hill South as much as possible. But of course, we're continuing to monitor this for you and update you right here and online on WTAE.com. Right now, we're going to send it back to the studio. We're now covering Allegheny County and Squirrel Hill South. Carlos Flores, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Carlos, stay right there. One question for you. The fire itself definitely is shocking and a terrible surprise for folks. What is not a surprise is how Pittsburghers are trying right away to help each other and those impacted by this fire. Can you talk a little bit about that? And it didn't come as a shock that Pittsburghers are doing that.
No, not at all. It would seem to be the next thing they would tell me when there would be when I asked them about the reaction. They'd be like, "I am so shocked to hear about this, and I just want to help." A lot of that is I want to help. The Squirrel Hill neighborhood is ready to help. We've heard that time and time again from several people who, whether just be trying to help the firefighters get this under control, or the people who are living in that who were living in that apartment rather, and how they can help them get impacted. There has been no surprise on that front. A lot of folks are just saddened to hear this is something that's affecting their neighborhood, but it's been just the immediate gut reaction. Okay, this is happening. What can I do to help? And it's been pretty much routine at this point. We've spoken to several people to answer your question, Shannon.
I understand that a lot of those folks, Carlos, we'll let you go. We know we're going to call on you in just a little bit, but when we had the terrible shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue, a lot of folks just needed a location to go to, and the JCC there in Squirrel Hill, just off of Murray Avenue, was where people went, and that...
Look at the roof, man. Wow. That's incredible, man. That's incredible. Hmm, 1930s. Yeah, that building. I guess we'll see. We're gonna have to follow up and see with all the damages and stuff. And pets, and we just saw that. We saw the Chief Darrell Jones.
The outside, but everything on the inside, the floors, the roof, the rafters,
Right.
the floor joists is all wood. All right. And fire, it also has spaces where fire can travel. So this is what happens when you have that. More modern construction defeats that, but right now this is what the hand we're dealt, and this is what we have to deal with.
Is battling that fire from the top using...
I live in a 21-foot camper and have 3 fire extinguishers here. Yeah, that's another thing, Catskill. The last 2 places I was at had fire extinguishers. This place doesn't. I have to go get
a unique and stuff.
I might have to go get my own. I have to make a little list of things. But the other place, the other place had fire extinguishers. You know, that could help you out in a tough situation. The roof is now the 2nd floor. Wow. The brick building is a huge fireplace, yeah. I'm curious. We're going to have to follow up with Joey, too, the cat. See what happened, man. Did the cat make it out that was able to escape? The lady was in a wheelchair, so I guess, I don't know, I guess she just had to leave. Her caretaker, is that her son that was the caretaker? Or... There's people in the corner over there.
Forward to Beechwood, Shady Avenue would be your get around if you have to make your way to something around here. The best thing you can do to help these crews is stay away from the scene right now while they continue to do their job. You still have significant delays on the outbound Parkway East as well as folks slow down to take a look at that smoke. More, of course, as we get it from Sky 4. Shannon and Elena.
All right, now we have meteorologist Brian Hutton Jr. joining us, and he has a unique perspective as well, Brian.
Son-in-law. Thank you, Bex.
Different camera shots, our action cam shots, PennDOT shots from the Parkway East. A viewer sent us a photo of that smoke seen from the Clairton Glassport Bridge all the way out in Clairton, about 12 miles away. What is the wind like today, and how are we able to see the smoke for so far?
Yeah, as we've kind of gone through the morning, temperatures have warmed up, right? We started in the 40s and 50s. We're now into the 60s. And so what that's done is that's allowed the lid that was in place overnight to kind of disappear. And so that smoke's been able to rise higher into the sky. And you can kind of see that from this perspective.
I was interested in that. Firefighter was like on another building top shooting water down to this place. And look, you can still see the fire still going. Still going strong in some parts of the building. Cut out. Tammy, hey, what's up, Tammy? We have 2 fire extinguishers outside by the pits and 2 in our kitchen, 1 in our laundry room, the extras in our garage. Yeah, I gotta get some. The last place I was at had them. I thought about taking them with me, but but yeah, no, I need to get some. I think it's a really good idea to have because you just never know, you know. With the pet thing, yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm assuming because the lady was in a wheelchair, but you know, we've covered some even situations with like hurricanes. I forgot which one it was. I thought it was a Florida one. Some people just leave their pets. They dip out. There was that one dog. Remember there was a dog that was like tied to a fence and the water was like flooding. It was coming up to like its neck, but it got rescued. Some people, man, once the fire or some type of danger, they're out. Pets, kids, everybody just leaving. Well, probably not kids maybe, but leaving them behind. But not everybody. Other people are different too. The pet is like their child or another person for them, you know, so they make sure they grab them. This lady might not have been able to grab them. Maybe she was being rushed, you know, she's in a wheelchair, don't know where the cat's at. Maybe the cat was hiding. But I would have thought if the son-in-law was in there, I don't know if he was in there at the time or he came after, he could have maybe grabbed the cat.
Outbound direction, not a good idea to get off at the Squirrel Hill tunnel, at the Squirrel Hill exit before the Squirrel Hill tunnel, because you're not going to be able to make that left onto Forward Avenue. Traffic is still very slow as you're coming eastbound on the Parkway East this morning, and you are noticing that heavy smoke there.
If you own pets, have carriers for your cats and at least slip leads for dogs.
As well as Sky 4. Let's go live to Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Marcy Cipriani. You spoke with some residents and some folks who were in that building and forced to evacuate in a hurry. And Marcy, you also found out some important information about just how old that building is.
Yeah, Shannon, Pittsburgh Public Safety tells me this building is from 1929, and while
1929
it does look solid, as you can see here on the outside, they say the inside is wood, and that's where they're having a lot of trouble. They say the fire started on the 3rd floor, and that's why officials tell me, the residents I spoke with didn't realize the building was on fire. We are told those first 911 calls came from people driving by who saw the smoke. The chief tells me that when fire is in the ceiling like that, they likely had no idea. So the people who I spoke with said that they were not in a rush to get out. One woman was upset. She left her cat behind. She's very worried for the cat. And this other gentleman I spoke with says he really thought he was being evacuated just briefly. He left with no shoes. He left with no cell phone. This is what he told me just a short time ago about how he's feeling now.
Honestly, it's kind of surreal seeing it all happen and, you know, just crazy fires coming out of nowhere where normally the biggest problem is whether or not the washing machines are working, you know?
Many of those people had to be helped out of the building by firefighters and Pittsburgh paramedics. They arrived here on scene and they say that a lot of people were actually just walking through the hallways unaware. The chief tells me someone actually was headed into their apartment not knowing that this building was on fire. So while many of them left with nothing with them, they thought they were going to go back in. It looks like at this point, according to the fire chief, they may not be able to get back in that building. It has been burned.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll follow up a little later follow up and see what maybe do an update. I didn't do an update for the Lakeside fire. I just pinned a comment. There was like 2 injuries. This was the California fire yesterday, and people are starting to return to their homes. I think a couple of houses. I don't know how many structures were messed up.
Lakeside. Yeah, this is a pretty scary sight to see. Look,
this was yesterday.
Yesterday afternoon near Los Coches Road. CBS 8's Regina Yorita live in Lakeside, where some homes did burn down, sadly. Regina, good morning.
Good morning, guys. And now that we're getting some more daylight in here, you can really see how devastating this fire was and how quickly it spread. Check out this home. This is one of the properties that burned down. The fire caused the house to collapse and was quickly reduced into ashes and debris. You can see at some points it's still smoldering. The base of the home is still standing. That's the bottom portion. But on top of that, that's metal from the roof that caved in. The flames were actually that strong that it crumpled these metal pieces. So this is already heartbreaking to see. But then you see on the left side and the right side, there are mobile homes that are still standing. Nothing compared to what this property looks like. I'm going to have Miguel kind of pan up towards the top there, because you can see right there, there are certain black spots. You can see how quick the fire was heading up towards that mobile home. But fire crews did an incredible job to stop the flames from getting over that fence. So that mobile home is still standing. But let's get to some video from yesterday. The fire quickly spread and ripped through at least 4 homes. 1 person also suffered burns in the fire and another smoke inhalation. In just a matter of moments, the Los Coches fire spread from Highway 8 and into the Monterey Mobile Lodge, located right on the border of Lakeside and El Cajon. Fire officials say crews were able to stop the forward rate of spread at 5.3 acres with 100% containment. Dozens of firefighters attacked this blaze both on the ground and from the air, as it initially appeared to grow in size very quickly. Chopper 8 captured air tankers and multiple water drops that were working to extinguish this fire, while authorities focused on clearing people out safely from the ground. Now, CBS 8, they were on scene yesterday. We noticed how residents were helping neighbors whose homes were on fire. So take a listen to what they told us.
Did was take the hoses, wet down the fences, which were on fire, put out the fire on the fences, and also they went over that and made sure that the hillside was not, they put out the hot spots.
And so this is a live image of electricians out here. These are crews who are probably looking at any electrical issues that might be happening here.
Okay. So that was an update to the fire from yesterday. We'll keep an eye on this one. If needed, I'll do an update on the clips page for this fire, this apartment fire. If I have time later, I might be doing a missing person story later. We'll see. I want to gather some more details, but we'll see if we cover this other story too, and whatever else pops off today. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate you guys. I will catch you later. Give you guys some updates on the fire. All right. Bye. Bloop, bloop. Hit the like button on the way out. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah, it was live feed.